Sean Ruess, 53 Lancaster Road.
He wants to make a railroad station out of it.
No, he wants housing.
No housing. Actually, I was pleased to hear that there were some suggestions about using it for Veterans Center over there, which is one of my ideas. It is part of Veterans Park. I think it's essential that we do that, and we really don't do enough for our veterans here in the country. They go out and they risk their lives, and they get retirement plans that aren't as good as city officials. So basically, that area over there, I also have some reservations about the viability of a theater because many communities are not able to make ends meet, and as a result, the state of Connecticut is bailing out, for example, Rensselaer Field, which is a brand new development, which was built on our tax dollars, and it's now become a hole in the economy. I think Bruce Springsteen was the only person that ever showed up there that anybody could name and spent football games. Another example is the Palace Theater. They just needed to do some repairs to their roof, and they had some interior work that had to be done. I don't have the facts and figures with me because I can't spend a lot of time doing research, but I can bring that back to the table. I think we really need to take a look at the economic viability of the theater itself and take that into a different perspective as the rest of the building. We can attack the rest of the building and try to make it sustainable economically in a different way. We can rent some offices maybe. I heard Renaissance is looking for a new place. I'm not suggesting that we give them the building or anything, but that's just an example of one office that we can put in there. We should definitely designate one part of that building that's going to be self-sustaining. It's not going to run off of subsidies from the taxpayers. I have no problem with if you want to have an incubator in there, that's fine. But balance it with something that's bringing revenue in so that it's not all lopsided. I'm also concerned about what kind of subsidies are going to be used for the building because there are strings attached to some subsidies. I think we need to do a detailed analysis of the finances of that aspect before we designate exactly what the building is going to be used for as an end use. We're trying to start at the end of the project and work our way to the beginning, and we're going to back ourselves into a corner if we do that. And a lot of Bristol taxpayers just can't afford to do that. And same for the state of Connecticut. We're really in some sad shape.
Well, this building has to be...
One of the things, Sean, is that the theater, make money or not make money, is a subjective aspect of it also. The other benefits to the city by having the theater there. Other businesses will benefit. That's going to be hard to quantify.
Absolutely. I mean, and like you said, we don't have to fix everything right up front either, but $14 million is still $14 million, whether you do it now or you do it over the course of 10 years. But financing it is another thing. Now, if you're going to jump into it and you're going to totally restore the theater and get it on board, and I'm glad that somebody said that they knew a little bit about what's going on in other theaters, so we can do a little bit of research and get some feedback in that aspect. But let's not put that on top of this too, because we don't really need to do that. We can get our foot in the door. We can start to bring a little bit of revenue in there and make our investments a little bit at a time and not get
That's $14 million included breaking down the back wall and expanding that whole area, which doesn't have to be done.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, in theater seats, I mean, you don't need to replace all of them right off the hop either. You don't know if you're going to have a theater even half full over there. Yeah. But we can also incorporate, our own arts groups and on top of that. And you never know, we might end up with our own theater group here in Bristol. And
we already have one.
Well, I mean, we can promote it, and we can sell tickets right here and put a portion of that towards the proceeds of restoring the theater, rather than just relying on tax subsidies to do it. You know what I'm saying?
I think
I don't think anyone's, for me, I'm not talking about tax subsidies at this point. I'm talking about looking to see how other people have done it first.
Well, we need to think about the economic sustainability of the project at the same
I don't
time.
think anybody's not saying that.
right. This is not going to be a burden on the taxpayers. What we just look at what revenues can come in from a theater what revenues can come in from rentals. It may be a fronted up cost that ultimately return back, but it has to be a building that can carry its weight. We can't put this all on the backs of the taxpayers to say, hey, go spend these millions of dollars, and we're going to, if it doesn't return an investment, who cares? We've got to do our job right to make sure that the building is recovered, the building has a purpose, but it's not going to be something we all think. I can't think of the cliche of what you call something you put the money into and it just,
Not viable.
Well, no, there's another word I'm thinking of, but we just can't be doing that.
We're going to true Board of Finance chairperson.
That's right.
So the building's costing the city about $200,000 a year to maintain it as is, but if it was actually used, it would cost more, because you would have more lights, you'd have more heat, you'd have more
Right.
water. So
So
you do have to concentrate on thinking of probably, $400,000, $300,000 as an annual revenue stream just to break even.
Maybe we can expand on the ladies talk about Richfield as to how that town benefited by the theater outside the theater itself.
Well,
They may have an idea of the benefits.
Have you seen the Niagara?
I haven't.
I want you to read it. They posted it online.
Yeah.
It is a blueprint and a mirror image of the theater that we have, and it outlines exactly how this town, a very blue-collar town, rallied around this theater with the support of the city and the mayor, and what they were able to accomplish, and you will be amazed.
You're talking about Niagara Falls, right?
Niagara Falls Performing Arts Center, they did an enormously good job of it.
So, I mean,
It's a blue-collar town. Read the study. Read it.
that's a tourist destination.
It might be a tourist destination, but the people have a lot more things to go do than to go to a playhouse. So it's harder to build a facility like this when there are a lot of other attractions and natural wonders. So if they were made successful, and actually it's on the United States side, which isn't as built up as the Canadian side,
If you read the study, it was not a great area. It was a school that was going to be torn down. Just read it. I think you'll get a different
I will.
perspective.
I'm not going to knock the theater down for every study.
No. I think you'll be a little more inspired about what we can do as a community if you read that study and how they went about doing it, because it is kind of a blueprint of what we can do.
I'm just looking at the other theaters in the state, and from the financial aspect, it's become difficult and impossible
The
for
arts
some
in general
communities
are like that. And
All right.
if everybody were
We can't have a sidebar like this for too much longer, so Mr. Mills.